I don't know if Mark Zuckerberg got red pilled or if he's, trying to save face and keep the status quo with the incoming administration. But I'll let you be the judge of that.
I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. We're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams.
Of course, now, with Trump coming back into office, he says he wants to remove the third-party fact checkers. But where was this energy when, people were getting removed or kicked off and blocked for spreading information? Not misinformation, not disinformation, but like quality information that could possibly help other people out about COVID, about masks, about, vaccines, information like that. Where were you then, Mark Zuckerberg? That's right. He was being a silent little bitch. And instead of us pondering or, wondering why he made these choices, he went on the Joe Rogan podcast a little bit, I think a few days after he made that statement. And, this is what he had to say.
I mean, at this point, I think a lot of people look at this as like a purely political thing. It's because they kind of look at the timing and they're like, hey, well, you're doing this right after the election. It's like, okay, I try not to like change our content rules like right in the middle of an election either, right? It's like there's not like a great time to do this. It's
right. And you want to do it a year later.
Yeah, it's like there's no good time to do it. There's,
right.
And whatever time is going on, there's going to be, so. The good thing about doing it after the election is you get to take this kind of cultural pulse as like, okay, where are people right now and how are people thinking about it? We try to have policies that reflect, mainstream discourse. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I think that this is going to be pretty durable because at this point we've just been pressure tested on this stuff for like the last 8 to 10 years with like these huge institutions just pressuring us and I feel like this is kind of the right place to be going forward.
What was it like when they were attacking you?
At the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, and like in the beginning, it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks. Masks aren't that important. To then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask. And, everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult to kind of follow. And this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And now I'm generally like pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative. But I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating, coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
I mean, come on. We all knew before he even said anything that the Biden administration was pressuring Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, fucking Twitter at the time to suppress information about COVID, whether it be about the vaccines, how masks don't actually fucking work, like anything like that. Any kind of information, if you were, caught posting it or talking about it, you were instantly removed, or the content was removed and you were blocked. But instead of, Mark Zuckerberg with his multi-billion-dollar corporation, or is it $1 trillion now? I don't even know. But multi-billion-dollar corporation, he could have came out and said like, hey, the Biden administration is trying to press us and make us, hide information on the site for whatever reason. If you would have came out and said that, people would have praised you. People would have been like, oh shit, I knew it was happening. And then you could have, did this decision years earlier instead of waiting until Trump's back in office to all of a sudden be like, well, third-party fact checkers just aren't working. No shit, they never worked. People are extremely biased, so whatever person is checking this information, they're going to be like, depending on their bias, and usually it leans to the left, they're going to be like, nope, this doesn't belong on this site. I don't want people seeing this. But I guess we got to wait and see for the, the next Democratic administration to win in order to see if this man, decides, it's not working. We need to moderate speech again because I'm a little bitch, and that's what I do. I suspect that's what he's going to do. Now, don't shoot the messenger if he doesn't do it, but you owe me $100 if he does.